How's it going, man? Tomorrow here. Sorry about that. Shit, I thought I would been done with my walk. I forgot I set this shit up for 6 p.m. Sorry about that. I meant 10 p.m. My bad. Don't worry about it. All right. Man, it feels good out here. But this is something that you hear within the space. The reason why I talk about this topic is because you have older black men who are pathetic as hell who come up with all these terms like amoral pragmatists or decentralized space or 5 years for a white supremacist and a clearly clueless 26-year-old woman who's going to provide some type of result for black boys. It's just things that are being said by completely clueless individuals. And you have to explain these actual terms to people. Now, I'll tell you right now, I'm not trying to save you if your father figure is a street dude. Not trying to help you at all. I wish you the best out there. I also wish you the best with the actual mother figures that you're going to create for your actual child and create all these other problems that we're going to clearly have because of how stupid you are. But let's go for it. Because a decentralized manosphere is quite different than things that people say. Like, I hear people say, okay, um, why did there have to be all this beef? Why did there have to be all these arguments? I'm like, name me a single organization that you've ever worked for in your life where there is no conflict. Name me, dude, in the military, there's tons of conflict. Police force, there's tons of conflict. If you're investigating any type of crime, tons of conflict. Tons of conflict. Doesn't matter where you're at, tons of conflict. But see, the problem is that for some reason, we've raised a level of pathetic ass men to the point to where they don't even know how to problem solve. After the conflict comes a resolution. That is what's supposed to happen. After conflict, there's supposed to be a resolution. Again, a decentralized management means that there are no rules. If there are no rules across the board, what do you think this place is going to be filled with at some specific point in time? What do you think this place is going to be filled with? It's going to be filled with the people that you clearly should have left out of this situation in the first place. That's actually what happens in all cases. Imagine if you showed up to the military, you come to basic training. There's no curriculum. You get to pick whatever job you want to. They just hand tons of ammunition to whoever they want to hand it to, and there are no supervision, and somehow there's supposed to be a specific result that they're supposed to work towards, but you gave them all this access to this stuff without even having a plan in hand. How is that supposed to work? That's the key. It's not supposed to work. Now, if this were younger individuals who just came here, who didn't know anything about space, who didn't know anything about the history, who didn't know anything about the cause, because there's all this stuff that is set up before all this stuff. There's a prologue to the actual people who claim that they're leaders being within this space. There's a prologue to that. And I'm going to tell you up front that the people who had no intentions on making anything better for black men, they hide under four things. One, black conservatives. A black conservative in this space is a piece of shit to the highest fucking level of explanation. That's how they came here under black conservatism. Not that there was anything policy based. They wanted to be a black conservative so that way they can have the ability to complain about the counterpart within society that did not want them and don't want me either. But here's the thing. After a period of time, you have to find another resolution for the actual family that you want to build. But see, here's the thing. Any conservative man is not going to hand his daughter off to any of these Bravo Alpha Novembers. That was never going to happen. Imagine if you put all this time into a child. You know, you picked the right woman, you had your stuff together, you invested in a career field that's not the relationship industry complex. You had your productivity together where you created an environment where the child can actually uh, have everything better than you had by the time they left the house. You kept the child up to date on how to actually survive within society. And imagine that you let them loose upon the world, out of your house. Obviously, you're not paying for college. The actual state is, because you have actually raised a child within an environment to where they're able to do the things that they're supposed to do, so that way parents don't have to pay for college, right? Imagine if your daughter came home with a manosphere dude who wanted submission from the forefront, who didn't offer anything of value to this person, but for some reason she's supposed to fall under his leadership for whatever reason. Does that sound like an actual play that anybody here is actually fixing up here? Like, that's what happens when you're part of the relationship industrial complex. Most people in the world do not trust these type of individuals. They look at the relationship industry complex as a fraud. They look at this community minded bullshit as a fraud. Okay? That's what they look at. They can just listen to what you're talking about and immediately know, boom, this dude's full of shit. Don't trust this person. That's the black conservative. And the black conservative also kind of dovetails off into the next situation. The next person here who shares the same space as the black conservative is the fake street person. I don't give a fuck about your criminal history or your past or any of that other shit. That's between you and the fucking government. The moment you come out of your mouth with street vernacular, we should stomp you to fucking sleep. I don't give a fuck what it is. Because once you come out of your mouth with street vernacular, what you're trying to do is you're trying to weaponize the innate bitch ass nigga that is in most of these black men around here. Again, fake street dude. Fake black conservative. Again, all with this is the fake pro black. Again, the pro blacks are about rescuing women from their actual decisions that they made with some subsegment of men within society. Okay? That's on them. I think that people should be able to make whatever choices that they want to make. I'm not trying to force one person to be with another person. I think that's very unnatural. But at the end of the day, again, a pro black does not want an operational society. Because remember, being a pro black is birthed out of things not operating efficiently in said society. Just like the black conservative, just like the street dude. All of these things rise up because there's no conservative society with no rules. If there are no rules, you see, this is where you get the bag shit come from. And I can't wait for a motherfucker to try to come up me off a bag. I don't give a fuck what I got to do. Plant dope on you, put fake rape charges on you. I don't give a fuck what it is. I'm gonna get my fucking vengeance. I'm not gonna fucking wait to make your ass pay. I'm gonna be the motherfucker who makes you pay. Fuck that bullshit. Because you motherfuckers have been living under this Christian kindness bullshit for your whole fucking life, and you never paid any type of consequences for your motherfucking actions. You see, that's the problem here. People want the ready ability to fuck over other people and think that because they get economic benefit out of it, that it's okay. That somehow it's okay. But you have to realize that all this shit is birthed because there are no systemic rules that anybody have to live by. This is why it doesn't make any sense for someone to say decentralized leadership. Now, decentralized leadership does work if there are minimum standards before things happen. Like the group that I'm part of with these government contracts. You have to bring something to the table before they let you be autonomous within the group. You have to bring a level of expertise and actual background on shit before these things can be able to work. But see, most of these people think, you know what? I ain't shit. A lot of these people around here ain't shit. I'm gonna be invited to somebody's group, and I can't wait to watch how things work, and then I'm just gonna pop up like a jack in the box and try to take some value out of somebody else's shit. And not only am I going to do that, I'm going to expect no consequences when that shit happens. This is why you have so many uncultured reptiles who repeatedly say, I don't feel comfortable working by myself. I only feel comfortable in a group. Again, you can tell the level of actual honesty from somebody within the space. If you are behind the scenes, pillow talking with these goddamn women in this fucking space outside of fucking YouTube, you're a piece of shit and you don't deserve to be trusted with anything. If you somehow have contacts within every single group behind the fucking scenes in YouTube, you are a person who's not to be trusted on anything. Why? Because in order for you to have these contacts with other people behind the scenes in other groups, you have to bring some type of dirt with you in order to keep your actual rep up with these people behind the scenes. Even if you have to make this shit up. So again, having a space with no minimum standards, you're going to immediately be overran by the actual people who shouldn't have been here in the first place. Let's say that you are a three-letter Itmore guy who's not an Itmore, by the way. Itmores don't have women's channels. Itmores, actually, introspective black men of reform, are not waiting on white supremacists and actual white females to take care of the kids that they had with the woman that they shouldn't have had it with. That's not what Itmores do. That's not part of the Itmore tenets. Not part of it. Not part of it at all. But see, you dumb motherfuckers are so stupid that you think that somebody is going to go out and create a whole entire society for you without you investing in it and is going to somehow turn it over to you after they create it. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. So I could tell that there's a problem here. It's a very hard problem because you have to understand the longer you have lived under the flag of a Bravo Alpha November, the harder it is going to be able for you to actually comport with the rest of society outside of that flag. You're not going to be able to operate in regular society because you actually think that protecting society is making sure nothing functions properly. That's what you actually think that you have to protect. You have to stop order and decency from taking hold because you have to protect everyone else within your subsegment of group from things operating properly. So, yes, naturally behind the scenes, you have to organize and strategize with the wrong type of men and the wrong type of women. You have to do that. In operational society, it's something that you have to stop from happening. And number four, the fourth type of person is the person with no sight. How many times do you see these people fall out of actual the good graces of most of these people who call themselves leaders within the actual space? It was all well and good until it happened to them. But see, that's the problem. You're, you're, you're trying to create a world with no rules, no boundaries, and expecting progress. How on earth did you get progress with no rules in place? Now, like I said, decentralization works. It does work. But you have to have a high level of individualized success in order for you to work within that group. I gave you the example earlier. Well, this is not about a 60-year-old completely. It's about the corrupt mind state of most of the people here who actually think that things can actually work with no rules in place. It doesn't work. Then they take their ass over to other women's channels who I don't trust. But the women have to give the Bravo Alpha November an actual place to exalt her. That's right. There's a lot of women within this space are purity fucking grifters. Purity out the fucking way, nothing but grifters. But they don't have a place without a bunch of thirsty ass men. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go around as a man talking shit about my own fucking people just so that way I can make some other people feel better. Like you have a woman here within this space who talks shit about her own fucking women, talk all this shit, get all these super chats from these dudes. I guarantee you she ain't doing that shit in her city. She do that shit in her city, they would knock her fucking head sideways. Dude, they would not have that shit happening. But like I said, there's two groups of people here within this space that do not belong here. The first group of people is the inexperienced people who have the outcome of dealing with the women in their fucking mouth, but they have no experience with it. Those people don't even deserve to be here. They don't even deserve to talk. Because when you give the ability for complainers to have a microphone, they don't want an operational society. They want everybody to feel their pain. And it's the same thing for the women. If I can see a woman who's a 1 out of 10 with 4 or 5 different fucking babies from 4 or 5 different baby daddies and shit, I don't want to hear shit from a fucking woman talking about how she can't find a good dude. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't even want to be a party to that conversation. Why? If as a woman, if you can't handle infinite access to dick, what the fuck I look like? Hear you complain about that shit to my face? That shit disrespectful to the motherfucker. So again, we have two groups of people here in high number: the men and the women. But when it comes to people who have successful marriages and shit, successful relationships, successful outcomes of fucking kids, no platform for those people. No platform at all for those people. The only people who we got time for is people who kids is on some half on a baby shit, non-custodial father type bullshit. Because that's what we're trying to run this shit down on everybody like it's normal. But see, if you had minimum standards, You would be like, as soon as you start talking that shit, hey man, get the fuck out of here, get the fuck away from here. And anybody who's with that fucking message, you can leave right along with that motherfucker right there. This is what happens when you don't have minimum standards. You end up shutting down the group from the inside out. And I hear these motherfuckers, oh, the FBI's listening to us. I'm like, dude, the FBI would not dream of taking this voice away from you, dumb motherfucker. As much as you, as much as you actually broadcast how much you are unwilling to actually follow simple directions in society, you're not a threat to anybody. But they do get tired of these mass shootings happening, and they end up finding this fucking literature as part of the evidence that they get to admit as evidence for these murder trials. That's why this shit's under the actual watchful eye of the federal government. Not the dumb motherfuckers that's here. That's not the case. But you have to realize men can actually debate. But what happens if you're a master teacher, but you ain't fucking debating your actual outcomes with nobody? You ain't doing none of that shit. You so right, but you ain't got no fucking outcomes that you can point to, right? No outcomes you can point to. No outcomes. Again, we're talking about older individuals talking about not having any type of rules in place, but expect all this progress. And then again, there's no timeline. So how are you gonna have no rules and no timeline, but you're expecting progress? How does that work? How does that work? The only thing that these people are clearly here to do is weaponize the discontent of these men within the actual space. And I don't give a fuck if you ain't got your shit together. You shouldn't be getting no pussy any fucking way. But then again, I don't fucking control that. Women control that. They control the sexual access point piece. I don't control that shit. You picked the wrong type of fucking dude. You out here fucking struggling. That's on you. You need to shut the fuck up and get the fuck on about your business. Because there's real work that needs to be done here. And worrying about where somebody's genitals fit into someone or their lack thereof, that is not something that we should be discussing in a while to fuck over. These stupid ass people in these conditions have created a lot of stupid ass motherfuckers who think that they got shit under control. You got people who actually think, watching what everybody's going through within this environment, but think that they got enough game to get it past these guaranteed consequences. No rules, no timeline, no proof. But somehow there's supposed to be some type of results. Make it make sense to me. Again, the reason why you don't debate me because you will fucking lose. Because I've already thought about this shit 1,000 times over. I've already built my life to the point to where I don't need a whole lot of motherfuckers' help to make sure shit works. We're not trying to even create men like that. We're trying to create codependent men, codependent on bullshit information, codependent on misinformation, codependent. This space has turned into what it turned into because there are no rules. No rules whatsoever. But somehow everything is supposed to magically work. Like I said, if you had a unifying principle, a unifying goal, the manosphere would work. But the only unifying goal is that hearts, clicks, views, likes, shares, whatever. Keep up bullshit conversations about, I don't know, an unfuckable lesbian woman that ain't nobody trying to marry, worried about what the fuck she's trying to fertilize her eggs with, the one she have left. All because you dumb motherfuckers want to be gaslit over this fucking issue of what a woman chooses without even upping your level of choice and responsibility in society. Worrying about what the fuck Tyrese dumbass is going through. Without your dumbass understanding that R&B motherfuckers have to put themselves through a whole bunch of bullshit to make albums out of. Mary J. Blige, anybody? When she went through a whole bunch of bullshit, wasn't that album fire as fuck? Yes, it was. You want to know what happened? She had to put herself through a whole bunch of bullshit in order to have the ability to write a good fucking album. And it's no different with Tyree's stupid ass. Again, you got to learn these patterns. Because if you learn these patterns, you don't have to be all of a sudden surprised about what happens here. But what happens when you have people who don't live by any discernible rules and they can't recognize patterns? You have exactly what you have right now. You have exactly what you have right now. But see, you're waiting on other people to actually set up an actual society for you. Well, you can set up a society for yourself. You can get your own shit together faster than you can actually wait for other people to get it together for you. You don't need game, master teachers, fake feminine bullshit artists online, placebo Keishas who's trying to tell you about the family or the community. Like, dude, you can get rid of all that bullshit by just getting your own shit together. Your own shit. I'm talking about men and women because women have the burden of the productivity piece too. Unless you pick the right dude to be with, yeah, you don't have to. You know that shit's gonna fall on your shoulders too. So it doesn't make any sense to not have any rules. And I'm only doing this as a public service because now the environment is way too smart now for you to get away with this bullshit. This isn't 2015. This isn't 2016. You can hide the live streams all you fucking want to. The real black misandrist was the master fucking teacher in this fucking space. And the fake ass street dudes who actually did the same fucking goofy shit that he was on. Those were the real black misandrists here. Telling you how they was going to genocide the entire fucking population so that way you could take care of their fucking nigger farm babies. That's what they was on in 2015. That's why the live streams ain't up. Because you realize that these were the exact fucking simps that they fucking claim that they're not. Only a fucking simp will be worried about a fucking impending gynocracy or their place within it. It isn't what normal motherfuckers even talk about or think about. Again, you can have all this bullshit going on as long as you have no rules. No rules, no history, no minimum standard. You could just show up to a place and try to drain all of the value out of the space. That's kind of what that shit is. It's not even that hard. And the thing is that they are out of material until something happens with this woman that they have to broadcast in front of everybody. How is it that a lot of these motherfuckers have all these behind the scenes contacts and all these motherfuckers in the Rolodex, but they're not as successful as the motherfuckers who they are aligned with behind the scenes? That shit don't make no sense. But see, dude, once you get your own shit together, you can call balls and strikes. You ain't gotta have fake motherfuckers around. You ain't gotta please nobody. You can just go in, make deals like a human being, and keep it moving. Again, older individuals are pushing that you don't need minimum standards. But somehow you're supposed to make it past every other person in society with no minimum standards. How do you compare yourself to other people if you don't have any minimum standards that you want to actually live by? Yeah, this stuff doesn't make any sense. It's not my fault that you thought a place for actual men's progress has turned to a place for entertainment. There's no discussion on that. There was no vote put up for that shit. It's just that pieces of shit came here to actually be here. They just claimed to do some entertainment shit. Why? They couldn't bring anything worth of value to the table, so it had to be entertainment for them. It had to be, oh, this is a space for entertainment. No, it ain't. It's not a place for celebrity junk or fake street niggas or fake pimps or none of that shit. This shit was about putting it all out there. These are the eventual outcomes if you keep messing around with a sub segment of woman that you ain't supposed to deal with. All right, so let's put it this way. Most of these younger individuals have stepped off from listening to the older individuals. Why? The younger individuals can see that these older individuals are doing things that they clearly didn't need to do, and that their failures are so obvious that they don't even want to be associated with them. So now you got the older individuals who want to talk hella trash about the younger individuals because the younger individuals won't respect them. Doesn't that sound a hell of a lot like your mama black? Don't that sound a hell of a lot like your mama black? Yeah, like you got to understand that you're in a position that don't nobody envy being in. And you have to understand that these people have got to keep pretending like they're winning. Their subculture is dying. This candle is being burned at both ends. You can no longer live like you have a whole bunch of people who's about to take over your responsibilities in the future. That shit kind of died out in our generation. Generation X. There's two types of Generation X. There is the 1970, 1976, 1975 teeter totter zone, where the people who plus 1976 are rational human beings for the most part. And then you got the people who are below 1976 and 75 who are the Bravo Alpha Novembers from the boomer generation. Same boomer logic. You see, the problem wasn't the women. The problem was never the women. It was always the men who was willing to go make a deal behind everyone's back. It was always the fucking men who wanted to make a deal. The men could have withheld their sexual factories from these actual women, like the women have done to them in the past. The man could have did that. How is that supposed to work? But see, these people run their mouth 7, 8 hours on a fucking live stream, can't even run a normal panel where there's information that can be quickly given out and dispersed, and we move on about our fucking business. We always got to make room for this hee hee ha ha kind of Patrice O'Neill kind of Cat Williams-esque fucking bullshit online. Why? These people ain't got no fucking identity. They have no identity. This is why they have to look up to masculinity out of other fucking people. Why? They have no masculinity of their own. None. Masculinity, zero. That's the problem. Things would be so much easier if you just learn the history. So that way we can be able to strategize and make a move. We have the same individuals who've been here 5, 6 fucking years, still haven't picked up a book, still haven't learned the history, still have to be brought up to speed on shit, but yet have a mouth fully open when it comes to discussing the same type of topics. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it is. But they want to come over to the men who's actually accomplishing shit and try to destroy our space. Our space. Ask yourself, why isn't a PhD out here debating the MOT or anything? You want to know why? I flame broil these motherfuckers. It wouldn't even matter what the subject is. I would love to debate in the wide open why you think there doesn't need to be any rules within the manosphere. I would love to debate that. I would love to debate it, especially with a PhD, so I can show you how stupid these motherfuckers really are. Oh God, I would love to do it. I would love to chop heads off in the fucking public square. I would love to do it. Because in 99.9% of black America, dude, you can get away with this bullshit with damn near anybody. But you cannot get away with this shit when you have actual men who know the actual history. They know how to dodge that shit. They know how to hide behind broken men, expired women. They know how to do that shit. Like, bro, they don't have anything in common with actual men. And actually, they want to see masculinity destroyed faster than you think the so-called feminists do. It's the men who do the shit. You think these men don't know they're putting their seed inside of a woman that don't bring shit to the table is actually going to create a result that neither one of us is going to respect? That's right. They're trying to create a whole bunch of child soldiers. They're just now doing it online. This isn't how they was doing it in the communities, like during the 80s and shit. Like they're literally trying to recreate the 1980s environment online. No standards, no rules, totally decentralized, totally decentralized. There's no thermometer to check the temperature. There's no yardstick or meter stick to measure the progress. It just is what it is, what it is. For how long it's going to be. Because that's what these people want. This is why I say this. Weak men should always be disrespected the shit out of. Weak, unaccomplished, complaining ass fucking men should be disrespected the shit out of. As soon as you open your fucking mouth, you should be disrespected the shit out of. Consistently disrespected the shit out of. Consistently. Why? Because if you ain't got nothing of productivity to say, and if you ain't trying to fix none of this shit, but you just want access to it, and you just want access to it just to continue to keep destroying it, you deserve no respect. None. None whatsoever. You see, that's the problem. Like when you have minimum standards, over time, it becomes normal to kick people out of the group. Like my grandfather. I'm not sure why he loaned money to these reptiles, but on occasion he did. And when it came to explaining how come it was time to pay up and you couldn't pay up, he would grab his cane and he would say the same words. You know what? Maybe I'm misunderstanding this shit. Why don't you tell me your side of the story? As soon as that man inhaled to give his fucking opinion, my grandfather would try to take that motherfucker's head off with that goddamn cane. Because it didn't matter. You're man enough to borrow, you're not man enough to pay back. You got these new cars and you're trying to impress these hoes, but when it comes time to paying the motherfucker back who made all that shit possible, you ain't got no motherfucking money. Again, the actual standard piece, you don't have to exercise it all the time. It is an ever level of protection of itself. Again, if you had an actual mission that wasn't trolling women online or trying to get them to bow down to weak ass fucking men, dude, you would have way more respect for this shit. You would. It would never come out of your mouth that, oh, this place is for entertainment. Like, no, you're for entertainment. No, sir. People spend real time here. They spend real time here trying to fix shit. It's just that you ain't trying to fix shit. Because remember, you're manosphere by the content that you do. You're not manosphere because you're manosphere short of fucking weak. That's some shit you just made the fuck up. Manosphere 1.0 didn't have manosphere short of fucking weak. That's a weak ass shit within itself. You have to pretend like you're manosphere for what, 1 or 2 hours? And then you go back to be on the whole shit that you consistently be on? Come on, man. Come on, man. And it's always the people who ain't fucking supposed to be here are the people who want to represent the manosphere as if they are supposed to fucking be here. Man, bro, I'm telling you, nobody's trying to bring Edward Anderson into their fucking house to lead their child nowhere. No one's trying to bring BG Sidmore inside of their fucking house to lead their child nowhere. No one's trying to bring the child support complaint crew into their fucking house to lead their child nowhere. No one's trying to bring complaining ass dudes who are complaining about these women online that they ain't got no access to. They ain't trying to bring them dudes inside their house nowhere. I know. You got to keep it decentralized. You have to. That's the only way you can maintain the woman's level of control over the environment. They want the woman to control shit. Make no mistake about it. They love this fucking gynocracy shit. They love it. They love this gynocracy shit. Bro, listen, man. They love these women fucking up these kids. Why you think they had these kids with these type of women? You mean to tell me that there was no examples in the neighborhood already before you decided to get these motherfuckers pregnant? Are you fucking kidding me? You mean to tell me that you was the only person who was shocked and fucking surprised about the results of these actions that you took? Really? Nah, man, you did it on purpose. When it comes time to build a building, do you know how much paperwork that you have to have in order for you to build a building? The building permits, the shit you got to get signed off by the water. You know, you got to put flags up before the actual gas, before you can actually dig. You got to get shit surveyed. All this shit to build a building. Guess how much paperwork you have to do before you destroy a building? Damn near no paperwork. The only thing you got to do is evacuate the area for a day, set the explosives up, and the shit fucking implodes. That's what they did to the Manosphere. They came here to destroy any movement that was meant to leave them behind. They came here to infect this place with the idea of decentralization. Because if you remove all the rules, then things tend to work better, don't they? If that's the case, why don't you fucking prove it? Prove to me, prove to anybody how have this stuff worked? Where have you seen it work? I agree, but that's your dumbass fault for being over there on this channel. You let a smiling fucking sociopath who's a fucking goddamn divorce attorney talk to you about relationship shit, nigga, you deserve to get your ass whooped. You deserve to get your ass beat into a fucking coma. Y'all dumb niggas made them motherfuckers that shit. That's the shit y'all was on. Then it went from a divorce attorney doing it to women who wasn't even offering you a solution doing it. That's on y'all, man. See, the problem is that those people who don't want rules, they're here to make human sacrifices out of other people. That's what it always is. A parasite does not respect the host. A parasite who want to come to the space, actually destroy the space for what it's actually meant to do, take all the value out of it, and then just be on some get the bag shit. That motherfucker was never here on some also trying to make men better shit. They were never on that. But whose fault is that? Like, dude, all the answers are already here. The moment you have your individualized results that you can point to, that you ain't got to share with nobody, you already won. Already won. I mean, but that's what they're all here to do. It doesn't matter. Like, dude, they're here to keep men weak. Dude, listen. If he keep escorting you into the simple fact that you can still get married with a fucking prenup and shit, like, bro, you keep seeing these prenups getting thrown out. You keep seeing it. Dr. Dre, Tyrese, like, what? How often do you have to see this shit? To have this smiling fucking sociopath in your fucking face telling you about all this dumbass shit. Like, most of this shit is y'all problem, though. It is completely y'all problem. That's what it is. That's what it is. Dude, you don't need these people's help, man. These people are only here to help people who's on that same failed path of trying to understand somebody that they don't need to understand. Unproductive men don't need to be understood. Non-family producing women also don't need to be understood at all. Period. Once I decided to put both of these individuals the fuck out of my life, whether they have grown up in the household that I grew up in or not, things got way easier. Way easier. That's what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, these dumb motherfuckers took their ass over there. They took their ass over there because they thought that this bastion of psychopathy was gonna give you some type of fucking answer that was secret. No, he came in here and kept escorting your dumb ass right back into the same blast furnace. That's what happened. Nobody else's fault. But at the end of the day, these people want their pockets to be picked. They do want it. Because see, if you had minimum standards in place, you wouldn't be able to let somebody come through here and like do this shit to you. These people would never have any of your time. This is why I've never clicked on the fucking live stream. I know what these motherfuckers are on. They're here for the broken men. They're here to give broken men a fucking platform. Broken men are deserved to be disrespected the shit out of forever. Broken men ain't supposed to be getting no access to sex. Broken men ain't supposed to be getting access to no motherfucking job. They ain't supposed to be getting access to a motherfucking thing. They're supposed to be broken and stay broken. Fuck their survival. Because anybody in these level of circumstances ain't gonna do shit but make shit worse on purpose. Because their lack of ability to comport with society. So they're gonna create a whole bunch of other problems. They have to. Well, I, hey man, hey man, hey man, that's on them. I don't know. I don't know how that works. The actual work that you need to put in is far easier than waiting for these people to do it for you. Everybody don't survive under the actual free reign shit, man. Only very few people survive under that type of movement. Very few people survive under that shit. Very few. Yep. They don't want you moving out. They don't want you moving on. They don't want you dealing with different people that's going to give you a different result. They actually think that they're black culture. That's the fucked up part about it. They actually think that they're black culture. 50-year-old fuck niggas like covering bullshit online, all that kind of shit. Ex rappers and shit, man. That shit makes me fucking mad as shit when I see one of these old fuck niggas online. Still talking shit after they made them goofy ass fucking albums. Destroying the fucking environment and shit. But you guys have got to understand, man. Once you institute these minimal rules, you're gonna be better off in the long run. You're gonna have that boring life where everything fucking works. Yeah, that boring life where everything works. Yeah. But their job is to stop you from having that boring life where everything works. So that way you can trade in your actual life where everything works. So that way you can trade it in for the actual chaos where nothing works. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you to trade that in. They're all trying to get you to trade it in. And yes, there's no reason to be hospitable or any of this type of shit with these people. They're trying to destroy what's left. They came here to destroy what's left. That's what they're here to do. They're here to destroy what's left here. They're not trying to improve shit. They didn't come here with that type of idea in mind. You think these people came here to improve black men? No. They came here to feast off the carcass of broken men. Trying to give you information so that way you can go get one of these women that you ain't supposed to fucking be with. So that way you can have these dumbass circumstances go on again and again and again. That's what they're here to do. Leveraging your failure and your actual pain, predictable and avoidable pain, is what these people are here to do. It's not really that difficult. Because remember, if you remove all the rules, that means you remove all the actual access to outcomes. That means you remove all the actual ability to compare yourself to other people. All you thing you have to do is remove all the rules. Yep. Really not hard. Very easy. Very simple. But competent individuals are the enemy. Think about it. If you went through the hours and hours of Manosphere content and you had to actually filter it down to very simple points of view, like, dude, you wouldn't even be online that long. You would probably have like 1,000 hours to one when it comes to productive conversation versus non-productive conversation. And people actually think, you know what? I'm gonna be unproductive and you're gonna like it. Yeah, that's what they say. But that's currently where we are, folks. That's currently where we are. Ask yourself, 2015, did BGS tell you that he was waiting on a white supremacist and a future 26-year-old female to help out boys? Did he tell you that in 2015? But it became an option when it became an option. When it became an option of holding him responsible for what he's created in this space since that time, it became a time for him to actually push these responsibilities off on another person. Because the point wasn't for him to create anything. The whole point was him to actually keep you tied to the actual woman that gave him power. He has a lot of power over bitch ass niggas. As long as your ass have not been raised by a strong fucking father figure or actually look up to one within your actual life, that's your fucking father figure. That's right. When you know you should be getting your motherfucking shit together, but you got all this time to hang out, that's what this shit kind of becomes. But then again, Maxwell 1.0, those people actually lost shit because they was actually fighting for something tangible. We're not fighting for anything tangible. The only thing people want right now is to have their own voice amongst this bullshit. That's the only thing that they want here. They're not trying to fix anything. But they want to be manosphere while they don't fix anything. So make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me about how a decentralized manosphere is supposed to work. Decentralized. That means there's no point. You get to create the point of why you're here. And if you're here to leverage the most collective ignorance out of people, you're obviously going to go into homophobia and fucking complaining about bitches. That's the best way to create a fucking audience, or even fake black conservatism that is based on the failed cultural piece of Black America, which is now white America right now too. Dude, it's not really that hard. Talk about dumbass fucking issues, no pathway to fix anything. Yep. I think somebody put in the chat earlier how, how they kick somebody out of the chat. Yeah, they do that. They jump you like fucking hoes and they throw you out the chat. Invite me on. You ain't gonna be able to jump me like that. Fuck all that. Shit, let's have a realistic conversation. Let's fix some shit. But see, most of these people like things the way that it is though. And I wish people knew that and they understood that they like things the way that it is. I mean, if you look at the way that it turned out, And if you look at the way that he actually cannibalized everybody that actually came around him, if that commission would have worked, it would have served no other purpose but then to boost him up and really nobody else. Because that's the type of dude that he is. I don't think it would have worked because he's on the same shit that he was on in 2015. Nothing has really changed. Not really. Like nothing has really changed from that. But the real fight within this space is between full-time YouTubers and part-time YouTubers. You see, the full-time YouTubers have to keep up all this whole shit so that way they can stay paid and they can keep their position. They have to live stream every day. They have to steal other people's content. They have to steal everybody's idea. They have to they have to leverage the relationship conversation. They have to leverage broken black male circumstances. They have to leverage your political ignorance, dude. They got to leverage all that shit. They have to in order for them to stay afloat. They have to kill and destroy all manner of progress in order to keep their position. They have to. It's no different than the white manosphere. They do the same shit. They keep you complaining and highly gaslit around what women are doing, covering what some Instagram model have said, broadcasting that shit in front of your face, like you can actually do something about it. You can't do anything about that. The only thing they want to do is keep you angry and confused. If they keep you angry and confused, then you'll make no progress. That's just what this shit is. But that's clearly where we are. And like I said, you don't have to worry about the collective failure of everybody. The only thing you have to do is individually get your shit straight. That's the only thing you got to do. All this worrying about what the hell everybody else is doing, dude, that's crazy. You can easily go get your shit together now. Scared and anxious or what? Separate. Separate. Shit, I had to do the same thing. Shit, I had to live over there by shit 6 and fucking Dayton, over there by Lowry Air Force Base, so that way I can get my shit together, so that way I can stay the fuck away from all the other hot spots in the goddamn city. I had to do that shit. I had to separate myself, separate, be on my own shit. Picked up a new crew of motherfuckers I can hang around who was also on their own shit. That's what it is. You don't need these people, man. You don't need nobody else to exercise all these type of standards. Just have higher standards for yourself, higher standards for what you fucking accept, higher standards for the people that you be around. Once you get your shit together, don't take your ass back around those people. Problem solved. Problem stay solved for a lifetime. Well, you should have thought about that shit before you had 3 baby mamas, bro. You should have thought about that shit way before you went had sex with those women. I can't help you. I cannot help that type of situation. However, for everybody else, hey man, just be able to separate, man, and don't worry about it. These people are afraid to be treated how they treat other people. Hey man, treat these people like shit today. Oh God, separate from these motherfuckers and just look at them like they lost their fucking mind when they start talking about this community shit or we all need to come together shit. Like, bro, separate and just look at these people like they lost their mind whenever they start being on that bullshit. You got to create a new identity, man. You got to create a new identity where none of these people background, none of the things that they say matter to you. You got to create a whole new identity. Believe me, these people who think they're community minded, they create a whole nother community that didn't even need productive men or feminine women or family producing women. Listen, these people create a whole new paradigm right under our fucking noses. And now they're trying to get us to actually come land the plane on the bullshit that they created. Oh, come on with that. Oh, ain't nobody doing that. Yes, it does. But a lot of these people, Ronan, once they do separate, they start having this separation anxiety. They start having this separation anxiety. Things are going too good for them. They got to put some of this nonsense back in their life so nothing works right. They don't feel happy unless they're impending, waiting on somebody to betray them. Yes, people actually go back to a circumstance to which it is normal for them to keep watching their back over goofy shit. Here's what I recommend. I recommend you get the fuck off of my goddamn channel with your personal fucking problems. That's what I recommend. That's what I fucking recommend, man. Get the fuck out of here. we don't need you in the SYSBM, man. Like we don't need motherfuckers like that. If you can't control your dick here, man, how the fuck you gonna control your dick elsewhere? Nah, man, we're not hiring. We're not hiring, bro. Fuck that. Take your complaints to the Angry Man channel or BGS or one of these whack ass PhDs, man. Nah, we ain't got time for that. But for everybody else who's near normal, who can reach this message, listen, you have to be able to knock all these pillars down, man. All these pillars, all these places that they're hiding beneath, you got to knock it all down. You got to challenge these people. You have to make them duck the conversation, make them keep ducking it. Make them keep ducking the conversation, man. Make them keep ducking the conversation about progress. Make them keep ducking the conversation about moving ahead and being more disciplined. Make them keep ducking that conversation. Their job is to keep your mind focused on this woman you ain't supposed to be with. That's the crux of their power. They're trying to keep you focused on things that you should avoid. Dude, I don't even care, man. Once you start running your mouth about circumstances that I don't give a fuck about, man, look, man, just get them out of here. Get them out of here. And you got to value peace of mind over everything. And it's not my fault that people are not cultured for the peace of mind piece. I want everybody to have the peace of mind. Everybody. Everybody deserves good outcomes. I don't give a damn how you get there. I'm not here to monopolize who you be with and how you be with them. That ain't got shit to do with me. No. Just make sure that your ass get there. Bro, listen, man. They got to keep this situation broken, man. They got to help the worst type of woman out by giving her kids that they know she ain't gonna raise to be anything. because they want to create their actual reasons to complain about. They want to create their actual levels of failure. They want to create the rationale that they have of actually failing. They're doing this shit on purpose. Yes, they are. It ain't the woman. It's the man who's giving up. It's the man who's giving up. The man who threw his hands in the air and said, you know what? I'm not going to do anything until I get the woman first. Give me the woman first and then I'll produce. Give me the woman first and then I'll be more disciplined. Give me the woman first and then I'll get my shit together. But you gotta give me the woman first. That shit's crazy, ain't it? Who the fuck is gonna turn their daughter over to one of these bitch ass niggas so that way they can destroy it? So that way they can destroy a lifetime of self worth trying to rescue one of these dumbass motherfuckers. Who the fuck is gonna do that? Fuck out of here. You mean to tell me that BGS Itmore is going to produce better fucking content if you gave him a bitch that he can fucking deal with? He's 60. You think Edward's gonna put out better content the moment he get a bitch he can deal with? This motherfucker's never gonna get it. You think these PhDs is gonna put out better fucking content if you give them a fucking woman that they can fucking deal with? These niggas are still worried about the relationship industry complex conversation. Bro, don't be fucking fooled, man. Bro, this shit is systemic, it's predictable, and these people create a hell of a lot of economic opportunity. These dumb motherfuckers create so many economic opportunities with their consistent and precise level of failure. God, I wish I could share these ideas with you, but I have to keep them to myself. But yes, these people create a whole bunch of problems that are unneeded. What's wrong, J. Charles? I don't know. I just had to get them out of here because I can't help nobody with three baby mamas, man. Like, bro, like this ain't the conversation for you. You belong on BGS Itmore's channel with the rest of the child support complaint crew. Nah, man, like, yeah, man, look, some people just out of place, man. That's all it is. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, if you have a daughter, don't you want to give your daughter to Edward fucking Anderson? Don't you want to give your daughter to Edward Anderson? If you have a son, don't you want to give him to one of these PhD people in within the space who also didn't get to the actual money? You really think that you want to give your kid to those people? If you have a son, you want to sit him down in front of Ron Neal? You really want to sit him down in front of those people? Come on, man. I'm just saying, man. They want to destroy everything that could potentially lead their ass behind. They have to come in here. They have to ruffle up the feathers of everything. They have to make sure nothing works and just bounce. But that's what we are, man. BGS should actually explain to people how this decentralized manosphere shit works. Don't be on Share Sade panel fucking lying about the goddamn space, motherfucker. You should be out here talking to motherfuckers out here about what you're talking about. Again, maybe I'm saying it wrong. You see that? We're just gonna drop the link, see who comes up. Probably nobody, but that's cool because the truth is undisputed. But who knows? Somebody could probably come up here and dispute the truth, the undisputed truth. You see, you can do that shit when you don't need nobody's fucking money, attention, none of that shit. I just care about shit working. Man, look, I am not trying to be like Judge Dre. Shit. Dude, if I got to be drilling into the ceilings all on wire streams and shit, no time to fucking be alone, and I got child support fucking with me like that, dude. Dude, that is nothing that I envy at all. Fuck that. God no. Whew. Hey, that is nothing I want to be a part of. All right, so since ain't nobody got no counter arguments, can't say the link don't stay dropped. So I want to thank you guys for coming through. On the man tomorrow, make sure you like the video on the way out. And the people who push this bullshit are literally telling you that they do not intend on bringing any type of value to the space. How can I have live streams, not even talking shit about women, all focused on the same subject, right? And I ain't got to troll women at all. These people act like this shit ain't even possible. Yes, it is possible. But that's kind of where we are, folks. The people who bring no value to the space are the ones who actually push no standards within the actual space itself. You can go back to my back catalog. Never heard me being on some misandrous fucking bullshit. Never heard me being on that shit. No, sir. I care about things working. So that way it works out for both men and women. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for coming through on the man tomorrow. You guys have a really nice rest of y'all night. Peace.